Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. As you can see from the title of this video, I want to talk about, when Sunni addresses something. She made a video on her IG stories. It was very brief yesterday. And she said that she's going to be addressing some things, but she was saying, but for right now, my condolences to Kiki's family. So she definitely postponed her having to air out her grievances concerning Destiny. So I have a feeling that she may reference the break that Destiny had the nerve to bring up at the season 3 reunion. So we're going to definitely break it down. I have a couple of sound bites that I want to talk about. Season 3 was a really tough reunion to watch. It's probably like my least favorite reunion because Melody gets so upset. And, she talks about how she does not really like being in Huntsville, but because she's divorced with kids with someone, and those divorce decrees, sometimes that dad will put that clause in where she has to stay in the same state as him. I have a friend who's divorced, and it's the same thing for her. And I remember that being a very hard pill for her to swallow because it feels like your life to an extent is out of your control. Because if you ever had a desire to move to another state because you're divorced with this person's child, you can't. So this is always a tough reunion to binge watch when I do enjoy watching the older seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So that's what sticks out most about this reunion. But before we get into these sound bites, of course, I ask that you all please hit the like button on this video. You hear us content creators ask you all kindly to do that. Even the dislike button, those stimulate the video, meaning that YouTube will say, okay, so they had some sort of feeling or they have some sort of affection towards the video. Let me recommend it to more people who love discussing Love and Marriage Huntsville. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I would definitely love to have you as one of the showstoppers. Everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on these sound bites are allowed for criticism. All right, so we're going to jump right on in with the first one where Destiny mentions a break. I want to talk about facial expressions, body language, and giggles, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and play the soundbite and then come back with my commentary. Okay, I was at the gym before I came, and I have to cue up the soundbite. Okay, here we go.
That you were divorced. So can you tell us what happened?
As much as I wanted the relationship to work, I feel like we were together for a long time. And then when we were finally in the same state and living together, and then we had a baby, and then COVID hit, it was just a lot.
One of the things that the audience saw was your reluctance in talking about your divorce. Can you share the reason why you were unable to really speak candidly about your divorce on camera?
Well, initially, I was fighting for my marriage, so I didn't want to speak about it when we were in bad places because I didn't know where it was going.
Is that something that LaBerrick requested?
LaBerrick didn't put anything on me. I chose to not speak about it.
Okay.
For the sake of law.
Before you got married, how long were you and LaBerrick together?
We were together for 5.5 years before we got married. So we were married for almost 2 years.
And where did things go wrong within those 2 years of that marriage? Did he cheat on you?
No.
Okay. Were you unfaithful?
No.
Okay.
We had breaks.
I won't get down that timeline. We'll be here for another day.
I know that's a man's answer.
But no, so, Martell, obviously, when you went to go see Destiny at her store, she was expressing the dissolution of your relationship with Melody. And you felt that she was too outspoken, and that's one thing her and Melody had a comment. You made a comment that that's why LaBerrick's divorcing you. You two are too outspoken, and men don't like that. That's why your ass is going through. Okay, now we're doing emojis. That's the reason why. That's the reason why you're also.
Why is it? Why is it such a? Why is it a clown place though? Just curious.
Because for you to say that the reason you going through a divorce, hence me and Melody also divorced y'all's mouth, y'all talk too much.
A man don't want a mouthy woman. They try to overpower men at certain times. You know.
And I would agree, Dustin, when you say that as women, we want respectful men who cherish and honor us and treat us delicate. Okay.
What has LaBerrick said to you about the reason why? Because he filed for divorce.
He did 3 weeks after I had my son.
Wait. 3 weeks after you gave birth to Law, LaBerrick filed for divorce.
Okay, so you heard that where we all know that LaBerrick filed for divorce just 3 weeks after Destiny gave birth to Law. And so I feel like Carlos, he was led to kind of ask Destiny, did you cheat? And you all can check out this reunion for free on YouTube, on OWN's YouTube channel. So if you were to type in like Love and Marriage Huntsville season 3 reunion, I believe this is part 2, it should pop right on up and you can watch it. So Carlos asked Destiny, did LaBerrick cheat? And Destiny was like, no. And then she kind of had this almost unsure look on her face, or I don't know if it was a nervousness that she would be asked the next question. And then Carlos goes, were you unfaithful? And she goes, no, we had breaks. And, some people kind of laughed with her. I'm not going to say everyone, but some people kind of laughed with her. So for y'all married people, I want to ask, do you take breaks? Is that a thing? Like, you know what, baby, I'm going to go to Atlanta and have some real fun for a few days. I'll see you later. Like, is that a thing? She made it sound like that's almost normal. Destiny, I do not think when you're married that you get to take breaks. When you're dating, perhaps. When you're a teenager, young love, like the Tina Marie song, or when it's just not serious and you're dating multiple people and maybe with this one over here, you take a break. But with your spouse, ideally, that's supposed to be a permanent relationship. So there is no taking breaks. And then Carlos gave her an out. He says, well, I'm not going to go down that timeline. So he protected her right in the moment. Although she kind of made herself trip and fall, she said that she took breaks. Carlos let that slide on by. He would totally not do that to anyone else, especially those whom he does not like Melody. He would totally come after her. But Destiny, he just let it slide on by. But I am curious to know if she ever explained to Sunni, when Sunni was her producer, about their breaks. What happened during their breaks? So Sunni, for reference, this is the season 3 reunion. I think this might have been like 2021, or maybe early 2022, somewhere up in there. So we'll have to see if there is any sort of, reference point that Sunni will use. Now, they did like a video package on Destiny before she came out and Carlos asked her those questions. In the video package, Martell goes to Madani and he's talking to Destiny, and Destiny is advocating for Melody. They were still friends back then. And, he gets mad and says, that's why you're getting a divorce. You and Melody, y'all just alike. Y'all so mouthy. So then that's when they're going to get into whether or not, Melody and Destiny, they're like too mouthy. And is that why, their marriages did not work out? And, Melody started, she said, Destiny, wouldn't you want to say we want men who respect us, honor us, and cherish us? And you could hear Destiny very low saying, absolutely. So there is more. I wanted to get into that. They're going to finish up that discussion. They're going to also talk about how for LaBerrick, it was very problematic that, she did not take his last name. So let's go ahead and get right on into it.
You about the reason why, because he filed for divorce.
He did 3 weeks after I had my son.
Wait, 3 weeks after you gave birth to Law, LaBerrick filed for divorce. Did you know that? We saw in the clips that he was very adamant about you taking on his last name, and he didn't want to hyphenate it. So was this a buildup of him feeling like, as his wife, you should have taken his last name?
We had already talked about it, and then when it came to really doing it, it was always an issue. Like, it was always, well, you just take my whole name.
What is that with me? And I'm just asking. I promise. I'm sorry, Carlos.
No, we had this conversation.
I think that's a lot of this stuff stems from men wanting to leave a legacy, and have their name on things. And so, we start seeing the stories of the greatest people, and they all have names, and their names have lived down through history.
You just have to know where your deal breakers are. He wouldn't have married me if I was not going to take his name. Right. That's just a simple fact. If you don't want to marry me, then don't take my name, and we won't get married. You see what I'm saying? To some people, it's that much of a deal breaker.
Yeah.
And legacy is that much of a deal breaker. When I had Jalen, I didn't name Jalen after his dad. Hence, my dad actually was brought to tears because Jalen will carry on the Grant name. So he called me because he was proud that Jalen was a Grant. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's meaningful.
It's meaningful. His legacy.
It's extremely meaningful.
His legacy.
At the end of the day, I don't fault anybody for getting a divorce or staying together. It's you decided that this is more important to me than a marriage, and you made that decision. And we can't go back and say childish, because that, to me, that door is going to swing both ways. That says,
Absolutely. I own my part in all of it.
You should have had that energy when he said it the first time.
When he said what?
If this guy says, "Hey, I'm gonna leave you if this don't happen,"
He did say that.
Important. Oh well, I guess I'm just throwing things out there.
Yeah, you did. You're making up stuff again.
Yeah, okay, but that's not
Because-
you got that little.
Huh?
You're not a man, but you got that little thing on you.
I do. It's a big one.
She said it's big.
Listen, can I say this on own? I got big D energy.
She's like a beta man, and I give her that.
Where's the man that can bring a woman out of me?
Well, that's not my thing. I'm married.
Okay, so that we all remember the BD energy comment that Destiny made. And y'all, I'm gonna be honest, back when this reunion aired, when she first said that and she said she got one and it's a big one, I was like, is that why she got divorced? Is she really like a lesbian and she's not ready to come out? Or, did she grow up in a very traditional home? Or is she, still in the closet? She's repressing it. Like, that was my initial thought. I'm like, it all happened fast. They got married, had the baby, then the marriage was over. And I'm like, is that what it is? That's what I totally thought initially with BD energy. But, it really wouldn't matter anyway what her orientation was. But those were my initial thoughts back when this reunion aired. Now, I just wanted to take that stroll down memory lane with her not wanting to take LaBerrick's last name. What do you all think about that? Some women hyphenate their names. That's definitely common. Some women do keep their maiden name and never take on the husband's marital name. I'm not a man, I'm a woman. So of course it's easy for me to say, I don't think that a woman not taking a man's name is definitive of her not loving him. It could be for a variety of reasons that she will want to keep her name, whether it's holding on to her family name, similarly to what Kimmy shared, or it could be a matter of protection, or perhaps the spouse's last name, perhaps is really long or spelled really funky, and she doesn't want to take that on, so she's just going to keep her name. It could be for a variety of reasons. I remember for Destiny, the episode, they were like on a double date with Melody and Martell, and she was saying that her holding on to her maiden name is giving tribute to her dad, I believe, and her brother who was unalived. So that was why. And it was like LaBerrick really, it was like he didn't even hear the words that came out of her mouth. It was almost as if she didn't have any concrete reason to him why she was not changing her last name. But I also want to circle back to the first soundbite. You know, from what I gather with Destiny, her and LaBerrick, they lived in two separate states while they dated for 5.5 years. And then they really got to know each other once they got married and moved in together in the same state under the same roof. And then in under 2 years, they got pregnant, had a new baby, and the pandemic happened. So she was saying that that was a lot that she was going through. Now, something else I want to say. So Carlos asked her explicitly if she was somehow contractually or legally held up from speaking on her marriage. And she said no. She said that she did not want to talk the truth about her marriage in case it worked out. So, which really spells out for me, she didn't want LaBerrick going back and watching the show, watching her confessionals, watching her scenes where maybe she's complaining about him and he didn't want to feel disrespected or like she was telling stories on him. And you know, she was saying that that's why she was trying to protect the marriage in case they worked it out. But when she was on the Ooh Ladies First panel a couple years ago, she was saying that she could not talk about the marriage or LaBerrick. And nowadays, when she's on her YouTube channel, it's she can't talk about LaBerrick on the show. But you can talk about him on YouTube. It's just so many different variances with Destiny. You never know what is the real deal. So this is something I have a feeling that Sunni can clarify a lot of the ish. And I just really think that she's going to comment on the break portion. So there it is. So I thank you all so much for checking out this video. I always appreciate the support. Please hit the like button on this video as it is a free way of supporting the channel. The weekend is here and it's like a 4-day weekend, which is amazing. And I cannot believe we're already in the second half of the year, but it will be great. So keep thinking your positive thoughts as much as you can. Stand in the mirror, say your affirmations. I like myself because, try to say a few of them or whatever affirmation you have. Journal, pray, call a friend that you trust to get things off of your mind, you know, and in another place, whether it's on paper or in God's hands or to your friend's ear. And I will talk with you all very soon. Bye.